Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Bont with the Missouri Association for College Admission Counseling. Welcome to the Show Me My Future virtual college exploration program for Missouri students. This program is sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thanks so much for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions for our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see nor hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at MissouriACAC.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for you within about a week at that same website, MissouriACAC.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters for you to meet the Big East.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meet the Big East. Excited to be with everybody today. Chris, would you mind sharing your screen? We'll go ahead and get started with just a brief introduction into who the Big East is, what we're all about, and then how this will work is we'll do a brief introduction to the Big East, and then each school is going to take about 5 minutes to present on their school. So you'll get to meet each admission counselor in each school one by one. My name's Tim Williams. I'm with Xavier University, and you'll hear me last since, we're going alphabetically today. So just wanted to start out by talking a little bit about the Big East Conference. We now have 11 members in the Big East. You'll see all of us down at the bottom there, from Butler down to Xavier. The 4 schools you're actually not going to be hearing from today, just so you know who they are, is University of Connecticut, the Huskies, Georgetown, the Hoyas, St. John's, and Seton Hall. Those are the 4 schools you won't hear from today. So just a brief run through, a lot of the time when people talk about the Big East Conference, the first thing they think about is college basketball. And that's not a bad thing. That's something we're certainly very proud of, is that great basketball tradition. The conference itself has been around for about 40 years. So our big thing today is not just to talk about the basketball. As you see there, we've produced about 11 national championships just in the last 6 academic years. So beyond basketball, the Big East excels in all sorts of sports and at the D1 level. And we are, outside of just the sports, a conference that's really committed to excellence, as you'll hear today, academically, and goes just so much more beyond academics as well. You see here that our institutions are located in 8 of the nation's largest media markets. And so we're really well connected, not just on the academic side or on the sports side, but with job opportunities and through alumni connections, through member connections as well. One of the things too to make sure you know is that the conference is brought together by impassioned institutions, as you'll hear today, but that also means that each one of our member institutions has impassioned and really wonderful students that go to each of these institutions. You'll see the service initiatives that the Big East participates in. One of the Big East service days actually does happen around our men's basketball tournament in Madison Square Garden. But especially in these tumultuous times, the Big East also wants to be a leader outside of the classroom when it comes to social justice, when it comes to promoting equity in our society. And that's something we all stand together for. Not to keep talking about basketball, but the basketball conference with the games this year will also be hosting, or on their jerseys, having Black Lives Matter statements on their jerseys, and that's something we're really excited about. And so we want to not just share with you about our institutions today, but let you know that we are a conference that stands together in the fight for justice, in the fight for equity in our country. And that's something we stand in together. And finally, the Big East, we collaborate with our member institutions to find opportunities for our students all over the country. So that's one of the cool things with you being in Missouri. Any institution that you go to, whether it be Creighton, Marquette, Villanova, Providence, et cetera, if you go to the East Coast and you want to come back home and find opportunities in the Midwest, we have plenty of Midwest institutions to help you find those jobs after you graduate, and vice versa. If you stay in the Midwest, but you've always wanted to get to the East Coast, well, obviously, we're the Big East Conference, so plenty of great East Coast institutions to help you find those opportunities as well. And that's one of the big things we want to make sure you know is that even though we compete with each other in basketball and soccer, et cetera, we're all kind of on the same team here. We all enjoy working with each other. When we go to college fairs, when we get to go and actually travel around and see you guys, we also get to see each other. So the Big East, it's a great conference. We're excited to introduce you to the conference today, and we'll go ahead and get it started with Butler University.
Thanks, Tim. And I know that everyone's schedules are busy and hectic right now, so we all collectively appreciate each of you spending some of your evening with us. You have a lot of choices and a lot of different things that you could fill your time with, and so we're very thankful that you chose to spend some of your evening with us. As Tim said, my name is Chris Potts, and I'm the Associate Director of Admission at Butler. I am a double Butler graduate, having earned my bachelor's and master's degrees from Butler. I work with all the students from the state of Missouri, except for the Kansas City metro area. One of my colleagues, Ann Denz, has the Kansas City area. So between the two of us, we are here to help you with any needs that you have. So just a little bit about Butler. We're a private, non-religiously affiliated, mid-sized university located in Indianapolis. We're about 5 miles due north from downtown as the crow flies, in a residential neighborhood. And we occupy about 450 acres of land. So a pretty big footprint campus for being as urban as we are. Also, by the way, just so you know, Butler is one of only 2 non-Catholic institutions represented in the Big East Conference. So I did want to point that out. We have a student population of about 5,000 total students, the majority of which are undergraduate, which is around 4,700 or so students that are undergraduate. Just over half of our students come from out of state, with nearly every state and 50 different countries represented in our student body, mostly thanks to our large and very popular study abroad program. So geographically, we have a very diverse student population, and that's something that we're very proud of. We at Butler are very intentional about focusing on the relationship aspect building of the student experience. We're known for providing small classes, opportunities to engage directly with your professors from day one, in real world experiences, including internships. Many of our programs require internships or more than one internship to graduate, along with research with faculty members and community engagement. Before I move on to the next slide, one quick note about admission. We have switched this year to a test optional admission policy. And so as such, all students will automatically be considered for both admission and merit-based scholarships when they apply to the university, regardless of whether or not you apply with or without test scores. So much more information about our admission requirements and procedures can be found on our website, and I encourage you to check that out if you haven't already. So this slide talks a little more in depth about Butler's academic offerings. So as you can see from this slide, Butler's made up of 6 academic colleges that focus on communication, education, the liberal arts and sciences, the health sciences, including pharmacy and physician assistant, the visual and performing arts, and business. We also offer a terrific exploratory studies program for undecided students or those who have multiple different interests and cannot yet decide what major to pursue. All students start taking courses in their major during their first year, in addition to taking courses in the core curriculum. And because of the flexibility offered as a part of the core curriculum, it's easy for students to change their major once on campus, and also to declare a secondary major or minor. So many of our students do in fact graduate with more than one major or minor. And to some extent, we encourage students to explore their many different options and areas of interest. Because of all the hands-on experiences and personal relationships that students develop, Butler students have significant success after graduation, as demonstrated by our 98% placement rate within 6 months of graduation, and that was from last year's graduating seniors. Next, I want to briefly discuss Butler's focus on student wellness, which is a vitally important part of the student experience. We believe firmly in that. And we believe that for students to be successful both in and outside the classroom, they need to be well in terms of the 8 dimensions of wellness that you see listed in the center of the screen on the BU Well diagram there. A big part of this is the student life and residential campus experience. We do have a 3-year on-campus housing requirement. Over the past 5 years, we've invested in 2 new residence halls, one for first-year students and one for sophomores with the focus on suite style living. And as of last year, we have a new food service provider on campus, which is always a hot topic. Bon Appetit is who it is. And they specialize in sustainability and have a heavy emphasis on local food sourcing and offering fresh farm-to-table food options. So that is very exciting for us and our students. Regarding other opportunities for involvement, we have over 130 clubs and organizations, an active Greek life system with roughly 35% of students participating, and 20 Division I athletic teams. We also offer club and intramural sports, as well as many competitive esports options, which I know is rapidly growing in interest. So as you learn from other schools presenting today, being a member of the Big East is special. Tim touched on that, and it's something in which we at Butler take immense pride. Something all of our schools have in common is school pride and great school spirit. At Butler, this is represented through the Butler Way, which you probably have heard before, and the community of care. And through this, you'll be taken care of as a Butler student and will graduate having had a transformative educational experience. So I know that's a lot in a short amount of time, but that's a little bit about Butler. And I would like to turn it over now to my colleague, Amanda from Creighton.
Thanks, Chris. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Kranz, and I'm an Associate Director of Admission for Creighton University, and we are in Omaha, Nebraska. So I think we are likely the westernmost located of the Big East. I work with students from the states of Kansas and Missouri, and in fact, I am a regionally based counselor. So I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and I would love to have the chance to work with you. Creighton is a mid-sized national Jesuit university with 80% of our students coming from out of state. Our students enjoy a truly residential experience on a gorgeous self-contained campus that is just adjacent to downtown Omaha. Our undergraduate colleges at Creighton are all direct entry and include the College of Arts and Sciences, the Heider College of Business, and the College of Nursing. We have a graduate school, and our professional programs include medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician's assistant, and law. With a total enrollment of about 8,500, Creighton is the most complex university of its size in the country. Creighton has long been known for strength in the health sciences, and our health science options are expanding with the addition of a new health science campus in Phoenix, Arizona, which will include a second Creighton Medical School. This will open in 2021, and this addition will make Creighton the largest Catholic health educator in the nation. Our pre-professional students benefit from a very structured advising program and from the fact that our professional programs do grant an admission preference to Creighton undergraduate students as well. Our College of Nursing offers direct entry admission, and our nursing students complete more than 1,000 clinical hours and have enjoyed a 100% placement rate for years. We build study abroad into the nursing program and have many nursing students take advantage of this opportunity each year. Students in our Heider College of Business benefit from being located in a city with the highest rate of paid internships per capita of any city in the country. We are the only business college that offers both a 4-year leadership development program and a 4-year career development program for all business students. These programs provide intentional planning that help to push our students to reflect on strengths and goals and pursue the best internships, consider double majors, and acquire the skill sets that will open doors and lead to increased opportunities. Next slide, please, Chris. I hope that you can make the trip to Omaha. We are located in a metro area of about 1 million people. Omaha has a vibrant business climate, strong Fortune 500 presence, and provides amazing experiential learning opportunities for our students. Because the majority of our students remain on campus on the weekends, and because several fun downtown neighborhoods are close to campus, our students are able to take advantage of great cultural opportunities, fun restaurants, and just the many options that life in a major city provides. True to the ideals of Jesuit education, Creighton students are passionate about social justice and take advantage of opportunities to help others. Last year, the 8,500 students at Creighton gave more than 1 million hours to the community. Creighton provides service opportunities in Omaha almost every day of the week, and hundreds of Creighton students take advantage of service trips that take place during our spring and fall breaks as well. We have a service learning campus in the Dominican Republic where students can spend the semester there in an immersion program, or they can take advantage of a summer opportunity to work with other Creighton students and faculty, making a difference in the lives of the Dominican family. Next slide, please. Do you have any idea how fun it is to be a part of the Big East? We are currently Big East champs in volleyball, baseball, and basketball, and there is so much school spirit at Creighton. All Creighton students get tickets to all home sporting events, and attendance at our home basketball games, this is one of them, averages at about 18,000, placing Creighton in the 5th spot in the country for home attendance. Creighton students are active in so many ways. We have great opportunities for sorority and fraternity life, and hundreds of different student organizations that provide opportunities for tremendous social growth. We are open for in-person visits and tours on campus, and are also offering virtual visits and tours as well. We actually went test optional last year, and we'll continue that for this year. In fact, we've made the decision that your test score will never hurt your general academic merit scholarship award as you move through the admission process this year. I invite you to reach out to me if you'd like to learn more about Creighton. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. And now I believe I will turn it over to DePaul.
Thanks, Amanda. So hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Fink. I'm an admission counselor at DePaul. I work with students from the states of Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Oklahoma, and Colorado. But I know obviously all of you tuning in here today are from Missouri. I myself am from the St. Louis area and went to DePaul, so I'm happy to be able to connect with you all today. Just some basic facts about the university. We are the largest Catholic university in the nation. We have a little over 22,000 total students. Of that, about 15,000 or so are undergraduate students. We have students from all 50 states, as well as 111 countries, and about 60% of them are from Illinois, most of them being from the Chicagoland area. That being said, our top feeder states include California, Michigan, Ohio, Missouri, and Texas. So we certainly have students from all over. I'm so happy again to connect with you from Missouri today. This picture is a lovely picture of our Lincoln Park campus. We are located in Chicago. We have 2 campuses, one in lovely Lincoln Park, which is more of a residential area. It definitely feels more like a traditional college campus, whereas our Loop campus is located in the Loop area of Chicago, very different than the Loop in St. Louis. And so that's the downtown business district of the city. So students can benefit from being in 2 different locations within the city of Chicago and benefit from all of those different avenues. Next slide. Thanks. So just a little bit about DePaul's academics. So we have 10 schools and colleges, altogether over 300 different academic programs. So you will definitely find something for you. Currently, our largest college is our Driehaus College of Business, followed closely behind by our College of Computing and Digital Media, or CDM. Within CDM, this is our fastest growing college, and it includes majors like film and television, animation, graphic design, computer science, cybersecurity, data science. There's a lot of really niche majors within this area, including game design, game programming, and some other, again, specialty majors. So we're really well known for that area, again, as well as business. And you can see here our top 5 most popular programs are film and television, health science, accountancy, computer science, and psychology. Specifically for film and television students, we have a connection with CineSpace Chicago Film Studios, which is the largest film studio outside of Los Angeles. It's located in the West Loop area of Chicago, and that's where they film shows like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Empire, Shameless. Amazon and Netflix both have lots out there, so a lot of your favorite movies or shows that you've seen on those platforms film there. Our students get to take classes at CineSpace, and they also get internships there and can work on those lots as production assistants. So hands-on experience is certainly something you gain with that program. In addition, we have about a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So even though we are such a large university, we're able to keep our class sizes pretty small at just 22 students. As someone who was looking for a school that was rather large, but kind of intimidated by being in a lecture hall of 500 people, I really liked that DePaul had kind of that best of both worlds. I knew my professors, and 98% of those classes are taught by professors. So you have great relationships with them. And all of them are working professionals within their industry, so they have that industry knowledge before you're going into that. And then just a couple of our top honors programs include our university honors programs for any major, our Strobel Honors Accountancy program for accountancy students, Pathways Honors is for pre-health students, and we do have a 3+3 BA/JD program in combination with our law school. Next slide, thank you. So a little bit about student life. We have over 350 clubs and organizations on campus. So again, definitely something a lot to get involved in. We have about 80+ study abroad opportunities that will happen each year, including opportunities for first-year students to study abroad. I mentioned earlier, we do function as a dual campus, meaning that any resource you find in one, you'll find in the other. So we have housing on both, we have the career center on both, we have even admission offices on both. So pretty easy to spend all your time on one campus, never have to visit the other, but most students will take classes on both campuses at some point in their DePaul career. And every student at DePaul gets a U-Pass, which gives you unlimited access to the Chicago trains and buses, so you don't have to pay for transportation around the city, which again, like, now that I'm no longer a student, I definitely miss. And again, housing is offered on both. To just kind of round it out, we have about 15,000+ internships that are offered yearly through our Career Center. Being in Chicago, we definitely have a lot of connections to Chicago area businesses and nonprofit organizations. So our students are definitely prepared when they graduate. On average, about 95% of our students are employed or continuing their education upon graduation from DePaul. We're really dedicated to service, being named after St. Vincent de Paul, who is a patron saint of charity. So Vincentian Service Day is just one of those examples where our whole community gets together and does different acts of service throughout Chicago. And just have to end it out talking about basketball. DePaul's women's team is really amazing. Last year, they were the Big East champs. But other than that, we do have 13 total Division I sports teams at DePaul, including areas like soccer, volleyball, track and field, cross country, things like that. So yeah, I'm excited to get able to connect with you all and hopefully get to answer your questions at the end. I'll turn it over to Grant with Marquette.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Folks, I have to acknowledge an epiphany I just had. We are halfway here. So as the song goes from Bon Jovi, oh, we're halfway there. So stay with us, folks. We got lots of information coming to you. But yes, my name is Grant Deegan. I am one of the admission counselors at Marquette University. I'm also a graduate of the school myself. So I graduated in the College of Business and the College of Communication. It was about 4 years ago or so it's been a while since I've been counseling now. And so a little bit about the program. So let's go ahead and advance the next slide if you would, Chris. Thank you much. So let's go ahead and jump into the meats and the potatoes about Marquette. So we have 7 undergraduate colleges, as you see on the screen. Now, all of our 8,300 students or so fall within one of these 7 colleges. If you look more specifically at the colleges as they are in order, with the College of Arts and Sciences, if you're thinking that someday you might want to go to medical school, you might want to study psychology, you might want to go into the natural sciences, social sciences, etc., that's going to be a great place for you. Right now, you're going to find a lot of students who maybe don't know exactly what they want to do will be a wonderful pair for the College of Arts and Sciences. It has the most amount of majors that we have and definitely has one of the award-winning advising centers that can help students pair those interests with some of the majors and minors that they might have interest in. Then you move over to the College of Business Administration and the College of Communication, my neck of the woods when I was a student. I'm going to lump those two together and talk about that real-world experience that you're going to get in both of those colleges. With our location just outside of downtown Milwaukee, you're going to have access to 9 of the Fortune 500 companies in the greater Milwaukee land area. And all of those companies know that Marquette is here. We know that they are there. So it makes your job as a student hoping to get some experience in some of the big 4 accounting firms and some of the big PR firms, whatever the case may be. You're going to have that sometimes within walking distance of campus, as a matter of fact. Now, when you move over to the College of Education, something that sets our school apart is you're going to be given experiences to be inside of the classroom teaching to students, whether you want to go for, say, a primary education or secondary education. You're going to be in front of those students right off the bat your freshman year. So really give you that experience to see if this is really what you want to do with your time. Another thing with the College of Education, as of maybe 2 years ago, we introduced a degree, a educational studies degree that you could go for if you don't want to become a teacher, but maybe you want to go into become, say, a counselor, or go into education reform, or to become a, maybe you want to do a psychology double major with this. You could do all of that without actually having to go teach students. So that's one of the newer programs within the college education. College engineering, you're going to find similar to the College of Business and Communication with that real world experience connection to the city. We have one of the nation's largest co-op programs, and a co-op is essentially a long-term internship. So it's a real world experience that you can apply into when you're a Marquette student that really gives you that, and at the end of your time as a Marquette student, really, you get that full year's worth of a job. So you are going to be light years ahead of students who are just entering into the field of engineering sans any kind of experience in that regard. Then you move over to the College of Health Sciences and the College of Nursing. Again, lump those two together as far as the health professions go. A lot of our interested students in our 6-year Doctorate of Physical Therapy program, our 5-year PA program, of course, our direct entry 4-year College of Nursing degree, Masters of Athletic Training. Also, a lot of students interested in going to medical school will fall within those two colleges, more or less. And there are roughly 80 different health agencies and clinical placements in the area that our students will be gaining access to, sometimes as early as their sophomore year. In fact, the College of Nursing guarantees that you'll be getting clinical placements your sophomore year. The bottom of the screen, loads of information about our School of Dentistry and our law school. And also, if you look at our website, plenty of information about the myriad of graduate program offerings that we have as well. Next slide, please, Chris. All right, folks, that's about 30 seconds to talk about the city of Milwaukee, so bear with me here. Now, I mentioned before, we're just outside of downtown Milwaukee, so this is a pretty homogeneous picture between Marquette's campus and the city. But ultimately, the main takeaway is that opportunity with how close it is, how close students can walk to get to downtown for jobs, yes, to see big games like the Milwaukee Bucks, or see Marquette home basketball games, or to go get plenty of food, or nearby restaurants or some of the coffee shops. They're going to have that access, and that opportunity opens so many doors for so many students, all at a very affordable cost of living in the greater city of Milwaukee. All right, folks, that is my time. Thank you for your attention today. Now I'll pass it over to Providence.
Hi, Grant. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Let's talk about Providence College. So my name is Megan O'Rourke. I'm the Associate Dean for Midwest Recruitment. And that basically means that I'm based in the Midwest. I live up in Chicago and work with students from all over, including Missouri. Fun fact, I am one of many in this group, hometown kids. So I grew up in St. Louis, and I'm thrilled to be with you here tonight. So what I want to do just as quickly as I can is go through some general information about Providence College. It's possible we're one of the schools that you haven't heard of, or maybe might not be as familiar with. We're a little bit farther away. Providence College is located in downtown Providence, Rhode Island, and we are about 2 miles from the city center. For those that are wondering, easiest way to get there, kind of perspective-wise, where we're located on the East Coast. So the flight isn't too bad. It's a couple of hours to get you out to the city of Providence, and we're about an hour away from Boston, about 3 hours away from New York City. Both are accessible by train. Providence is kind of a cute little city right in the middle. So we are actually the largest city in the smallest state in the country. It's the capital, and there's so much to do, plenty of opportunities as it relates to both professional things, internships, career opportunities, but then also just stuff to do for fun. Chris, if you can switch to the next slide for me. So let's talk about some information about PC. So I think it's important to understand that for us, there are a lot of things that kind of work in combination with one another when we talk about academics and stuff happening outside of the classroom. You really are a part of our campus community. We call our students and the people a part of Providence the Friar family. That's our mascot. I think for me, one of the coolest things about PC is how integrated all of your experiences are going to be. You can see a lot on the screen when it comes to the kinds of things that you'll do related to academics and not related to academics. Because for us, the growth and development and the education that you'll receive kind of encompasses all of the pieces. We have 3 different schools of programs on campus. So the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, the School of Business, School of Professional Studies. So students, professional studies, let me clear that up real quick. For us, at least, it's different at other places, but for us, that's going to be education, social work, health policy, and management. You do not have to come in knowing what you want to study. PC is inherently a liberal arts school. And so if you don't know, that's totally fine. We've got a great undeclared program that will allow you to kind of figure things out, understand the intersection of what are you good at and what do you like to do, and how is all of that relatable back to picking a major and then ultimately picking a career path. Students have a liberal arts core curriculum that they'll fulfill in addition to their majors. So I think it helps our undecided students kind of navigate their first couple of years especially. But programmatically, I think the other thing to point out is we really want students to do these things outside of a classroom. So 37% of our students are working with a faculty member on research. 96% of our students are doing an internship or some sort of career appropriate experience. We have about 100 students or so that are in the honors program every year. We have big kind of research opportunities that take place during the summer, during the school year. For us, it's helpful for students to kind of understand, okay, here's what you're learning in class, and then bigger picture wise, how does this kind of relate to real life? How can you take what we're learning in a classroom setting and kind of implement that into your professional opportunities later on? We have great study abroad opportunities. There's over 300 programs to choose from. We actually, proportionally speaking, are typically in the top 10 schools that send students abroad. And I think that's kind of a testament to the opportunities, the number of opportunities available. The other thing that I would point out is our placement rate. 98% of our students are employed within 6 months, and our retention rate's also pretty high, 92%. So students are enjoying their experience, they're loving their time on campus, and I think that kind of speaks to both the environment on campus and then in turn, the fact that you're in a really awesome city that has a lot of stuff to do. If we have any history buffs in the group, you are going to love Providence. There's a lot of history there. As it is one of the oldest cities in the country. Chris, can you flip one more? Yep, okay, great. I think the last thing to point out is that classes stay pretty manageable. So the average class size is about 20 students. We have no teaching assistants, so all of our classes are taught by professors. Student to faculty ratio is 12:1. Academically, we are a school, like others have mentioned, we're test optional. We really are looking at your academic record in high school in order to kind of figure out how you've prepared yourself for life in college. And I think that's evidence in some of the academic information that I've shared with you. So application deadlines and all of that can be found on our website, which we'll share at the end. But thank you all so much for joining us this evening. And I'm going to pass it along to Matt at Villanova.
Thanks, Megan. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Harris, and I'm a Senior Associate Director of Admission at Villanova University. And I'm also a fellow Missourian. I grew up in Kansas City before attending Villanova, so excited to be virtually back in the Show Me State tonight. So Villanova University, we're a medium-sized Catholic university founded in 1842 as a school to educate Irish immigrants who at the time were outcast and ostracized from society. So we really are a tight-knit, inclusive community that welcomes students from all religious beliefs and backgrounds. Villanova is about 6,500 undergraduate students, and our suburban campus is located just 12 miles west of Center City, Philadelphia, which is the 6th largest city in the country. And Philadelphia is in a really great location. We're just about 90 miles south of New York City, about 80 miles west of the Jersey Shore, about 130 miles north of Washington, D.C., and so really the whole mid-Atlantic can be a part of your campus. And as a fellow Midwesterner, it is much easier to get around the Northeast than it is around Missouri even. And so you can really take advantage of all of those places and those locations. So what you're looking at in this picture now is the twin spires of our St. Thomas of Villanova Church, which is our main campus landmark. And something distinctive about Villanova is that our education and our philosophies are rooted in our Augustinian principles. There's thousands of colleges and universities in the US, but there's only one Augustinian university, and that's Villanova. So something a little distinctive about us. And it's small in this picture, but in the seal there, you can see we have 3 Latin words from St. Augustine: veritas, unitas, and caritas, and truth, unity, and love. And those 3 values are kind of universal to us as Villanovans. and what we hope to have shape our education and our experience on campus for students during their 4 years. So as we move to the next slide about the academic journey, Villanova takes pride in a personalized educational experience that offers close contact with our faculty and with our advisors. We hope to grow minds and also hearts, and our students are ambitious and engaged both inside and outside the classroom. Villanova has over 80 different majors and minors throughout our 4 academic colleges, and when I hope that you all will apply in the future, you do apply directly into one of those colleges. So they are all direct admission, and the colleges are our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, the Villanova School of Business, the College of Engineering, and the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing. We're also one of the top producers of Fulbright scholars in the country, and so students at Villanova are globally minded and prepared for success. And that success and that research begins right away with something called our freshman match program. The spring semester of freshman year, students can apply to be matched with one of our faculty members doing their own research on campus and to serve as their assistant. Over 40 different projects are typically available, and students are guaranteed about 100 hours of research and a $1,000 stipend. So it's a great way to really get started right off the bat, and students will continue that research and that scholarly journey beyond that first year. In a more artistic sense, our students produce 2 social justice documentaries each school year. This past year's film, Sankofa, took home the gold medal at the Student Academy Awards. And so no matter your interests, we hopefully have an academic outlet for it at Villanova. Upon graduation, our students enjoy excellent career networking and positive outcomes, such as a 97% successful job placement rate this past year. So transitioning to our final slide, from the academic world to the extracurricular, we're lucky at Villanova that students who choose to attend our university have been super involved in their high school communities and are really wanting to continue that involvement while they're at Villanova. Student engagement is not just common, it's ever present. There's over 260 student organizations and clubs that students can participate in. And our students understand that in order to ignite change, they have to enact change from the ground up, which is why service is something that our students take very seriously. About 75% of our students are involved in service and perform over 250,000 hours of service annually. Our students oversee one of the largest student facilitated Special Olympics events in the world. In addition to that, we also have an athletic student body. Over 2/3 of our students are involved in athletics in some way, whether it's a member of one of our 24 successful Division I teams or a member of one of our club teams or throughout our intramural sports programs. Villanova is a school full of joiners where students take pride in their involvement. So no matter where your passions may lie, there's hopefully a place for you at Villanova. So as I conclude, to kind of bring it all back to the beginning with those 3 core values of truth, unity, and love, there really is a culture of warmth and kindness on our campus, paired with that Big East school spirit and a profound commitment to service. And so if you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to chat with you more, fill you in on our admission process, talk to you about visit opportunities and things like that. So please stay in touch. But until then, go Cats. And I'd now like to introduce Tim Wilms again from Xavier, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what it's like life as a Musketeer. Tim?
That was beautiful, Matt. Thank you so much. Since you threw up the V, I'll have to start by throwing up the X there for you. But my name is Tim Wilms. I'm an admission counselor at Xavier. I'm also the admission counselor for Missouri specifically. I'm from the St. Louis area. So I came to Xavier actually in 2010 and graduated with my undergrad in 2014. So it's a real thrill to be working with Missourians, get to go back home all the time and work with you and talk a little bit about Xavier throughout the process. So I wanted to pull this slide up first. We always love showing off our students. Here's a handful of our students, and actually there are 2 St. Louisans on this, Casman Perkins and Isaac Santos up on the top. And so you'll see a little bit just about our incoming freshman class that's now started at Xavier. 55% of our students actually come from outside the state of Ohio, at least this year. Typically that number is 63%. And so one of the really cool things about Xavier is you get a great combination of great small school stuff, which we'll talk about in a second, but we're also a school that's known, just like a lot of our Big East counterparts, all over the country. And so we typically have 47 or 48 different states represented every single year. Obviously, these numbers for this year, the pandemic hit us a little bit by bringing that number from outside Ohio down a little bit. But the one thing I do want to point out is here at the bottom, 39% of our students are the only ones to come from their high school. Typically, that number is right around 40%. And I think that's a great representation of who Xavier is. You know, we're a Jesuit Catholic university. We're the 4th oldest Jesuit, 6th oldest Catholic university in the nation. And because of that mission, that identity, that heritage, it means we're a mission-driven place. And what that also means is that we attract mission-driven people, mission-driven students. So wherever our students come from, wherever they want to go, if there's somebody coming from their high school or nobody coming from their high school, odds are if Xavier's a great fit for them, they're going to come and join in. Kind of like Matt was talking about at Villanova, and a lot of folks have talked about. For us, leadership opportunities, getting involved, being on campus, that's what it's all about. So Chris, on to the next slide, please. All right, thank you. Some great stats here for you. Just some basic information. Xavier is a school of about 4,900 undergrad. So I always like to say we're smaller end of a medium-sized school. We are technically a medium-sized school with our graduate programs puts us up around 7,000 total between undergrad and grad. And so what this brings is the best of both worlds, right? You get a smaller size classroom setting, average class size of 21, a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. It's the kind of place you're going to get to know the people around you. You're also going to get to know your professors even better. They'll get to know you. And so you get to have all that great small school stuff combined with a bigger school name, bigger school resources. And of course, we're in the Big East Conference. Folks know us all over the country for our basketball program, as well as all of our 18 D1 Big East men's and women's programs. Some great stats here for you. We have 90 majors and 60 minors, and we're a Jesuit liberal arts focused school. So what that means is we're a direct admit school. You can apply to the business school. If you get accepted, you're into the business school or to the psychology program, et cetera. But because we're direct admit and we're liberal arts focused, you don't have to necessarily know right away, save for a few of our programs like nursing or pre-med. But that's one of the really great parts is that regardless of your major, you're going to have a variety of different classes that you'll take to give you a wider array of knowledge going into the working world. And what that means is that as soon as you graduate, this 98% rate, what it says is 98% of our students within 6 months of graduation are working full-time, pursuing graduate studies, or doing a year of service after graduation. So that's something we're certainly very proud of. You'll see on the bottom right-hand corner our student success team. So every single one of our students gets an academic advisor to work with you over your 4 years. And that's the big thing. We want you to get in and out in 4 years and manage your major, manage any minors or other majors you might be taking. You'll have a financial aid coach, as well as a student success coach and a career coach to help you with the transition from high school to college, as well as help you find internships, job opportunities earlier and earlier on. And because we have students come from all over the country and people know us all over the country, wherever you decide to go after you graduate, if people see that Xavier, that X on your resume, that's something that carries a lot of weight. So Chris, on to the last slide real quick. Thank you. This is just a quick snapshot of campus. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're about 5 minutes north of downtown. So as far as opportunities on campus, plenty of leadership opportunities, plenty of experiential learning on campus or downtown. And it's not just about academic opportunities, but professional and also social opportunities, being so close to downtown Cincinnati, which is similar to St. Louis, similar to Kansas City, but a wonderful downtown area with a lot of opportunities and a lot of fun to be had as well. So that's my time. It's 5 minutes now. Like I said, I'm Tim Wilms. I'm your admission counselor, so please let me know how I can help throughout this next year or years where I can work with you. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us to meet the Big East. So I'm going to share my screen one last time. And so when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We sure would appreciate any feedback you can provide. And this was just one of many sessions being hosted over the next several weeks. So be sure to sign up for additional sessions at Missouri ACAC. It's MOACAC.org. And in about a week, you'll be able to find the session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings, again, at MOACAC.org. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.